Students, so in today's class we shall be starting with our next part of TCA cycle, and we shall be covering the next 5 reactions that were left in the previous class. So today we shall be learning how alpha ketoglutarate is finally converted to oxaloacetate to again start the TCA cycle, and we also shall be studying the bioenergetics of the TCA cycle. So now let us start from the next reaction, that is conversion of alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl coenzyme A. The next is conversion of alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl coenzyme A. So now first of all let us draw the structure of alpha ketoglutarate. All of you must draw the structure along with me so that you can learn how these structures are being changed and what are the various byproducts that are formed. So this is the structure for alpha ketoglutarate. Now in presence of enzyme alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, in presence of enzyme alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase, a succinyl coenzyme A molecule is formed, and during this reaction a production of one NADH is also there plus liberation of one carbon dioxide molecule. So first of all let us make the structure for NADH. So here is the liberation of one NADH molecule, plus along with this one carbon dioxide is also produced, and addition of one coenzyme A as such is also there, along with addition of one coenzyme A as such. So we can clearly see that the carbon dioxide from this carbon is removed, and this ultimately leads to formation of one succinyl coenzyme A molecule. So now let us draw the structure for succinyl coenzyme A. I shall be highlighting the changes with red color. So at the third carbon there will be an attachment of one succinyl coenzyme A. So this is the structure for succinyl coenzyme A. And for this reaction an inhibitor is also present known as arsenite. So this reaction can be inhibited by presence of arsenite. So arsenite acts as a non-competitive inhibitor for alpha ketoglutarate. Now let us start with the next reaction. The next reaction is conversion of succinyl coenzyme A into succinate. Now let us draw the structure for succinyl coenzyme A. So this is the structure for succinyl coenzyme A. In presence of enzyme succinate thiokinase. So now the name of enzyme is succinate thiokinase. A molecule of succinate is formed. So here is the liberation of one GTP molecule also and removal of coenzyme A SH. So we shall be forming one GTP molecule plus with liberation of one coenzyme A SH. So now let us draw the structure for succinate Now this is the structure for succinate molecule. This is the structure for succinate. Now in the next reaction there is the formation of a fumarate molecule from succinate. So next is the formation of fumarate from succinate. Now first let us draw the structure for succinate. Now this is the structure for succinate. This is converted into fumarate molecule. It is oxidized by presence of succinate dehydrogenase, and this reaction results in a production of FeDH2 instead of NADH. So students, please remember this is an oxidation of succinate that gives to the formation of product fumarate, but in this reaction the enzyme involved is succinate dehydrogenase, but instead of formation of an NADH molecule, a FeDH2 is formed. So you have to remember this. In this, a FeDH2 molecule is formed that give rise to fumarate. Now let us draw the structure for fumarate. So here is the formation of one double bond, and this is known as fumarate. For this reaction an inhibitor is also there known as malonate. So this reaction is sometimes inhibited by compound known as malonate. So this acts as an inhibitor for enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. Now the next reaction is formation of levomalate from fumarate. The next reaction is formation of malate from fumarate. Now let us draw the structure of fumarate first. So students, this is the structure of fumarate. Fumarate in presence of enzyme fumarase, it is converted into malate, and this is an hydration reaction which occurs in presence of water. So first let us write the name of enzyme. The name of enzyme is fumarase, and this reaction occurs in presence of water. It is a hydration reaction. So ultimately the double bond is liberated to form a single bond in presence of hydrogen and hydroxide molecules. So now let us understand how the changes occur. So an OH molecule is added over here and one hydrogen is added here. So this is the structure for malate, sometimes also written as levomalate. So this is the structure of malate or levomalate. Now the next and the final step is the formation of oxaloacetate from L-malate. So malate is oxidized to form oxaloacetate by the enzyme known as malate dehydrogenase. So first of all, let us draw the structure of malate. Now this is the structure for malate. Malate is converted into oxaloacetate in presence of enzyme, or rather it is oxidized in presence of enzyme malate dehydrogenase. So this reaction occurs in presence of enzyme malate dehydrogenase. Now this is the third and the final synthesis of NADH that occurs at this stage. The oxaloacetate is regenerated, which can combine with another molecule of acetyl coenzyme A and continue the cycle. So this step is again accompanied by formation of the third and the final NADH molecule. You can see here from NAD plus. So it is converted back into oxaloacetate molecule. Now let us see what are the various changes in the malate and oxaloacetate. So there is only liberation of one hydrogen from the OH part that leads to double bond formation with oxygen. So this is the structure for oxaloacetate. So finally this oxaloacetate can again combine with another molecule of acetyl coenzyme A to form one citrate. So we can see this oxaloacetate can again bind with one molecule of acetyl coenzyme A and lead to formation of one citrate molecule. So hence this reaction is continued again. So this will be the start of the next reaction in which citrate is converted back into isocitrate and so on. So I had only shown this reaction, that how oxaloacetate again participates to continue the TCA cycle. So student, these were the various reactions that were left. Now let us see what is the summary of the TCA cycle. So what is the summary for TCA cycle? Let's just summarize it in a single reaction. Now what is the summary of that? The events of the Krebs cycles may be summarized as given. So first of all, there is a formation, there is an addition of one acetyl coenzyme A molecule plus 3 NAD molecules plus 1 FAD. So these are all the energy products plus 1 GDP. Now inorganic phosphates are also added plus 2 molecules of water. So these are the two hydration reactions that were occurring. One was the hydration reaction that was occurring in presence of aconitase enzyme, the conversion of aconitate into isocitrate, and the next is the conversion of fumarate to malate. So these are the two hydration reactions in which 2 molecules of water are consumed respectively. Now the reaction is leading to formation of, first of all, 2 carbon dioxide molecules, then 3 NADH molecules, plus liberation of 3 hydrogen or 3 protons, we can say. Also 1 FADH2 molecule, one GTP molecule, and ultimately one coenzyme A. So this is the summary for TCA cycle. Now requirements of oxygen is also there. There is no direct participation of oxygen in the Krebs cycle. However, the cycle operates only under aerobic condition. So under anaerobic conditions, it's not possible for TCA cycle to work. Now let us see the bioenergetics of the TCA cycle, the bioenergetics. How these bioenergetics are formed. Now let us see. So the first reaction that is occurring is formation of alpha ketoglutarate from isocitrate in presence of enzyme isocitrate dehydrogenase. So we shall be writing the reaction how isocitrate is converted into alpha ketoglutarate. So this reaction occurs in the presence of enzyme isocitrate dehydrogenase. Plus this is accompanied by formation of an NAD molecule, NADH molecule. Or we can write it on the other side here. In this reaction, one NADH is formed which is equivalent to 3 ATPs. So now the second reaction is formation of succinyl coenzyme A from alpha ketoglutarate. Now next is the formation of succinyl coenzyme A from alpha ketoglutarate. So the enzyme's name is alpha ketoglutarate dehydrogenase. And in this reaction also one NADH molecule is formed that is equivalent to 3 ATP. So we shall be writing here one NADH is equivalent to 3 ATP. Now the next is formation of succinate from succinyl coenzyme. Formation of succinate from succinyl coenzyme A. So it occurs in presence of enzyme succinate thiokinase. Now in presence of enzyme succinate thiokinase it is formed, that is occurring in presence of, that is leading to liberation of one GTP molecule that is equivalent to 1 ATP. So these are energy equivalents to each other. Now the next reaction that is leading to formation of an energy molecule is formation of fumarate from succinate. So the next reaction is formation of fumarate from succinate in presence of enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. In presence of enzyme succinate dehydrogenase. So students remember, in this reaction one FADH2 molecule is produced instead of one NADH. One FADH2 is produced instead of one NADH, which is equivalent to 2 ATPs. And now lastly the reaction that is left for energy production is formation of oxaloacetate from malate. So in this step, malate is converted to oxaloacetate in presence of enzyme malate dehydrogenase. And this is accompanied by formation of one NADH molecule that is equivalent to 3 ATPs. Now let us see how many ATPs are produced. Let us calculate 3 plus 3 6, 1 7, 2 9 and 3 12. So a total of 12 ATPs are produced on per molecule of acetyl coenzyme A. Per molecule of acetyl coenzyme A entering the TCA cycle. So as we know that a total of 2 pyruvate are produced from glycolysis. Hence 2-acetyl coenzyme A will be entering into TCA cycle simultaneously so 2 multiplied by 12 ATP, that is equivalent to 24 ATP per TCA cycle are produced, or we can say per molecule of glucose are produced. So students, I hope now this is all clear to you. We can remember the bioenergetics in short also. We all know that ATP produced in glycolysis is equal to 8 ATPs. Then ATP produced in formation of acetyl coenzyme A from pyruvate. So in this step 2 NADH molecules are produced, or we can say 1 NADH is produced. So for 2 pyruvate molecules this is equivalent to 6 ATPs. And at last ATP produced in TCA cycle, we all know that is equivalent to 24 ATPs. So in total 38 ATPs are produced. So in total 38 ATPs are produced per molecule of glucose. So for one glucose molecule a total of 38 ATPs will be produced in both glycolysis and TCA cycle. And other than this, if pyruvate is converted into lactate, then also under anaerobic conditions a total of 2 ATP will be produced. So this is for under anaerobic condition. So I hope students now the TCA cycle is clear to you. We had studied the second part also now. The sixth reaction is conversion of alpha ketoglutarate to succinyl coenzyme. Then succinyl coenzyme into succinate. then succinate into fumarate, fumarate to malate, and finally malate to oxaloacetate, and this further enters into the another TCA cycle. So students, this was all regarding the second part of the TCA cycle and its bioenergetics.